Welcome to Dinar Insight, your trusted source for deep analysis, global currency developments, and real-time updates on the financial movements that matter most to currency investors around the world. If you're passionate about following the latest developments surrounding the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong, you're in the right place. We're diving deep into the major breaking news you need to know right now, information that could significantly impact your investment outlook. Whether you're a long-time currency holder, a new investor just starting your journey, or someone who wants to stay ahead of the curve, this comprehensive breakdown will keep you informed and empowered. Be sure to watch till the end for crucial context and up-to-the-minute insights that could change your perspective on the dinar and dong revaluation landscape. Today, we are witnessing an exceptional and pivotal moment in the currency world, with both the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong making headlines due to a series of financial, geopolitical, and policy developments that have triggered intense interest from investors, economists, and global observers. These two currencies, long the subject of speculation and hope for revaluation, are now at the center of a potential shift in international monetary alignment. After years of anticipation, signals emerging from Iraq and Vietnam, combined with the changing attitudes of global financial institutions, are pointing to movements that could redefine their currency values in the near future. Let's begin with the Iraqi dinar. For decades, the dinar has been a focal point of speculation among investors who believe that a revaluation is inevitable as Iraq rebuilds its economy, strengthens its central bank, and reintegrates into the global financial system. In recent months, we've seen a noticeable uptick in both domestic and international financial reforms within Iraq. The Central Bank of Iraq has been working aggressively to stabilize the exchange rate, reduce the black market influence, and enhance transparency in currency auctions. These changes are not just cosmetic. They represent a deeper structural shift toward a more open, regulated, and globally compliant economic system. The new push for de-dollarization is also playing a major role. Iraq is making deliberate moves to reduce dependency on the US dollar, a move that could not only stabilize the dinar but also strengthen its sovereignty in monetary policy. Meanwhile, the Iraqi government has been ramping up oil production and renegotiating contracts with international partners to secure a more favorable revenue stream. Since Iraq's economy is heavily oil-dependent, these negotiations directly influence its foreign currency reserves, which in turn impact the strength of the dinar. The most recent reports show that Iraq's reserves are at their highest levels in years, providing the central bank with a stronger cushion and more flexibility in managing its currency. Additionally, there's been increasing cooperation with international financial institutions like the IMF and World Bank, further integrating Iraq into the global financial architecture. These collaborations also come with expectations of currency stabilization and transparency, both necessary precursors to any potential revaluation. At the same time, geopolitical stability has improved in Iraq relative to prior years. While challenges remain, the current administration has been more proactive in addressing corruption, improving public services, and ensuring that investment flows continue. More international businesses are now viewing Iraq not just as a post-conflict zone, but as a growing market with untapped potential. The influx of foreign investment, especially in infrastructure, banking, and telecommunications, has a direct effect on the demand for the dinar. As more multinational firms conduct business in local currency, the intrinsic value of the dinar becomes more relevant and may eventually warrant a reset or upward adjustment. Now let's turn to Vietnam. The Vietnamese dong has been in the spotlight for several reasons, chief among them being Vietnam's extraordinary economic growth, stable manufacturing base, and rising status as a key player in the global supply chain. Over the past decade, Vietnam has evolved into a manufacturing powerhouse, often being compared to early-stage China in terms of potential. With consistent GDP growth, strong trade balances, and increasing foreign direct investment, the Vietnamese economy is arguably undervalued relative to the strength of its currency. The current peg-like control of the dong to the US dollar has raised eyebrows among economists who suggest that the dong's actual value may be far higher than its current rate reflects. Vietnam's central bank, the State Bank of Vietnam, has implemented strict monetary policies to manage inflation, keep interest rates favorable, and build strong foreign exchange reserves. As of the latest reports, Vietnam's reserves have surpassed record levels, giving the central bank more tools to manage its currency effectively. In addition, Vietnam's trade agreements with countries around the world, including major economies such as the US, Japan, and the EU, continue to generate strong export revenues which bolster the dong's legitimacy and long-term potential. Instead and the bahts. Recent weeks, we've seen significant buzz in financial circles about Vietnam quietly adjusting its exchange rate policies. Several international observers have speculated that this could be a prelude to a more flexible currency regime, potentially even a managed float. If that occurs, the value of the dong could begin to rise gradually, especially if it reflects the real economic output and productivity that Vietnam is currently achieving. The IMF has noted in past assessments that the dong may be undervalued, and several institutional investors have begun reallocating funds into Vietnamese assets, a clear sign that they anticipate upward movement in the currency. When we look at these two currencies side by side, a few striking similarities and differences emerge. Both Iraq and Vietnam have faced historically suppressed currency values for political or economic reasons. Both are now emerging from those constraints, albeit in different ways. Iraq is undergoing a reintegration phase where rebuilding and stabilizing the economic and political environment is key. Vietnam, on the other hand, is in a phase of economic ascent, fueled by strong exports, a growing middle class, and increased global recognition. Yet both face the same question: will their currencies be allowed or even encouraged to reflect true market value?